Yes, good evening class. I'm called Anyole Alvin Anguzu. I'm going to take you through software project management. Let's quickly dive into the first slide. In planning of software projects, there's a term that we call software crisis. This refers to a period of difficulty in the software industry where projects frequently failed to meet customer expectations, they ran significantly over budget, were hard to maintain, and were often delivered late or not at all. These are kind of the crises that people face when setting up the software. Then the key aspects of the crisis include failure to meet requirements. Software often don't do what the users actually need to do. So that, for example, there are some apps where people complain. You can check on Play Store. There are some apps where people complain that some functions are missing, or they cannot do this and that, or the network keeps on disturbing, or the adverts. Those are kind of the failures to meet the requirement needs. And you can often see the comments in the comments section in Play Store of each and every app that you download. Then we have cost and maintenance issues. We can take an example of Microsoft applications. For example, Word, Excel, Access, PowerPoint, and Publisher. All these are Microsoft software, but to maintain them is a bit a challenge because they are always releasing new updates, and you always have to keep updating your computer to ensure that you have the latest versions of the software. I think some of you have opened Microsoft and a pop-up message has come that maybe your Microsoft version is out of date, or your Microsoft version isn't licensed. Those are the cost and maintenance issues we are talking about, because to install a new Microsoft operation, that one will require money. Then we have poor project management and low productivity. That is, ineffective management practices and a lack of efficient development processes contribute to these problems. Then we have project management. We can start with the definition: the discipline of planning, organizing, and managing resources to successfully complete a project within a defined scope, time, and budget. Of course, when a project is being launched, like a software project, first there needs to be planning. Planning is very crucial in development of any software project. Then we have managing of resources. Resources can include people, can include the infrastructure, and so on. All these need to be mobilized. Then we have execution. That refers to carrying out of the plan, then monitoring and control, and then finally the closure. Yeah, after when the project is finished, you need to sit down and panel beat it. Then we have the project lifecycle models. For example, the waterfall, the V model, evolutionary, and the agile lifecycle models. Then we can also talk about the feasibility and cost-benefit analysis, whereby there are three types of feasibility: technical feasibility, economic feasibility, and legal feasibility, and so on and so forth. First of all, the technical feasibility is the technology required available and it can be implemented. Then economic feasibility, that one is the project financially viable and will it generate sufficient returns? Then operational feasibility, can the organization effectively operate and maintain the project? Those are kind of the things you have to ask yourself before launching a software project. Yes. Then we can continue to project scheduling. There is in project scheduling, there is what we call program evaluation and review technique. This is a method used to analyze and manage the uncertainties involved in a project, because when launching projects, there will always be challenges, there will always be hindrances. You need to find ways on how to adapt to those challenges or on how to maneuver through. Then we have the critical path method, shortened as CPM, then the Gantt charts, and so on and so forth. Then we have project planning, which is the process of defining objectives and scope and determining the steps required to achieve those objectives. The activities in project planning include estimation, scheduling, staffing, and risk management. Risk management encompasses identifying, accessing, and planning responses to potential risks that could impact the project. So you should always find ways of averting these risks. Then we can go to the cost estimation models, where we have the COCOMO 81, which is the constructive cost model. We have the COCOMO 2 and the cost drivers. Then we have PAT and project crashing. PAT in full is the program evaluation and review technique. This technique is widely used to calculate a range of possible project completion times. This helps in managing uncertainty and risk in project scheduling. This is what I've been talking about in my previous slide. Then we have project crashing. It's a technique used to shorten the duration of a project by strategically adding resources to critical path activities. However, crashing often increases project costs and needs to be carefully evaluated to determine the optimal trade-off between time and cost. We can go to a concept called team management and motivation. They are crucial for project success. Then we have the Maslow hierarchy of needs, the Herzberg's two-factor theory, and effective leadership. Strong leadership is very essential for guiding and motivating teams towards the project goals. You can see the project manager needs to really be effective in mobilizing the resources, in planning, and even in the closure, in monitoring, evaluation, all those aspects. The project manager needs to be at par when developing the software projects. Then we have resource allocation. Resources, I told you the kinds of resources. We have people, we have the financial resources, we have the infrastructure, and so on and so forth. Then we have resource allocation, which is the distributing and assigning resources. Then we have resource scheduling, which is planning when and how resources will be used throughout the project. We have resource smoothing, which is adjusting resource allocation to level out demand and avoid bottlenecks or shortages. Then we have the resource conflicts, which are situations where multiple activities require the same resource simultaneously, necessitating prioritization and resolution. Effective resource allocation aims to optimize resource utilization, minimize conflicts, and ensure timely project completion. You can even see in any project, whether you are launching a software project or whether you are launching any other project, the more the resources, the faster the project is to be completed. That is it. And the reverse is true. Then we have project monitoring and control, which is also very crucial because it involves the tracking of the project process. Then we have the earned value analysis, traffic light method, and the Gantt and timeline charts. The traffic light method, this is a simple visual reporting technique where project managers or people involved in the project usually use the colors. For example, green, which represents that the project is on track, amber, which shows that the project is at risk, or red, which shows that the project is totally off track. Then we have configuration and change management. This is a discipline that manages and controls changes to software systems throughout the life cycle. We looked at the project life cycle models. Then we have this tracking of the software versions and changes, prevents unauthorized modifications, especially from third parties, people who want to maliciously damage your software project. You need to, the project manager, or when launching projects, needs to prevent those unauthorized modifications of third parties, then to ensure stability and maintainability. Then we have software reliability and quality assurance. Yeah, this is the focus on ensuring software performs as expected to meet user requirements or to meet user needs. Then we have the reliability growth models, the continuous quality improvement, and so on. Then finally, the last part will be the project closure. This is where the people involved in the project sit down and formally complete all the project activities and finalize the project. They see where they succeeded or where they were lagging behind, so that next time they can do better. Then we have administrative closure, completing all administrative tasks, such as documenting the project outcomes, archiving records, and releasing resources. We have contract closure, post-project activities, which involves inducting final reviews to assess project success. Yes, this is what I had for all of you in software project management. Yeah, let's end here for today. We shall meet in the next session.